It's so very beautiful, so amazing out here. The weather is so perfect. The sun is shining. The water is cool. The air is blowing so awesomely, so perfectly. It's just so perfect, just so awesome. And all this perfection, all this awesomeness, the sound of the birds, the sound of the waters, the beautiful air, the beautiful sunshine. There are beautiful birds behind the camera, and all these things. This is just God manifesting itself. This is just God making itself visible. This is just God enabling us to see in different aspects, in different ways. God just enabling us to see what He looks like in the water, in the cool air, in the beautiful voice of the birds, in the beautiful sunshine. This is all just God, just making Himself or itself visible. This is all just God allowing us to see and to know how beautiful it looks like. So God is just allowing us to know and to see and to be able to just comprehend what He looks like. So I always say that God is not so far away. God is not somewhere that we cannot reach Him. God is not living in that place that we call heaven. God is not somewhere that we cannot get to Him, because everything around us, it is all God just making Himself visible to us in the water, in the beautiful air, in the trees, in the sound of the birds, as everything that you can see around you. That is all just God just making Himself visible to us. If you read the book of Romans, Paul says that in the visible creation, if we care to look, we are able to see God. We are able to see just different aspects of God, just different attributes of God. Everything that is appearing, it's so beautiful. And Paul says that in everything, if we look at the sky, if we look at the sun and the moon and the stars, if we look at the blue, clear sky, we can look at night, you can look up and see how beautiful the sky is, if you can see the stars. That is all just God appearing and making Himself visible. You do not have to, God does not live in a church somewhere or in some spiritual house somewhere. God is everywhere. That is why we say He is omnipresent. That is why we say God is everywhere all the time at the same time. There's no place where God is not, and then another place where He is. There's no place where we can find more of God and another place where we can find less of God. He is just everywhere at the same time, in the same way, in the same concentration. So it is beautiful. When you look at the water behind me, with all its beauty, this is another aspect of God just making Himself visible to us. That we can look at the water and see how beautiful God is. Because all this is the mind of God in physical form. All this is just the thinking of God that has been made visible to us to see, that for us to see. Okay, so when somebody says that God lives in a place called heaven, or God is only found in a church, or there are some people that can find God and others cannot find God, I find that to be a lie. Because for me, everything is just the manifestation of God. Everything is just God making Himself visible to all of us, that we can all see Him, that we can all find God so easily. You can find God so easily if you care to open your eyes, if you care to open your ears, if you care to open your mind. You can find God very easily, because God is simple and God is easy to find. He is not hiding like some religious people make Him out to be, like as if He's hiding and He's expecting us to work too hard for us to find. He's not hiding anywhere. And there's nowhere that God is not. And there's nothing that God is not. God is everywhere, in all things, in everything that you can see close to you. God is in everything. He is everywhere. Okay?